Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Unfiltered Tea Time, brought to you by Little Dagger Aesthetics, or as I like to call it, me, Michelle Jacques. This is my company. Today, we're here to discuss TV shows from the 2000s to 2010s, which might seem like a really weird topic that, just doesn't relate to the other topics because I feel like they were a little more serious. But this was by a special request by a special friend who chose to remain anonymous for some reason, even though I gave them that super cool intro calling them a super good friend. So, if they're listening, just at yourself in the comments. As always, my name's Michelle. My pronouns are she, they, and I will let y'all introduce yourselves. There's Gill, Noah, and Mari here with us today. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Gill. I go by she, they. I still don't have much to say about myself, but this week I will say I like owls. Yeah.
Yeah, you can go, Mari.
Okay, hello. I am Mari. Thanks for having me back, Mitchie. I go by she, her, and keeping with the animals, I like turtles.
I guess that just leaves me. I'm Noah. I go by he, him, and I will say owls and turtles are both a hoot.
That
Very
was
nice.
terrible.
That's right. I'm doing finger guns. I know there's no video, but I'm.
In our video episode, you can do finger guns.
I will do all the finger guns.
Yeah, I actually think that one's coming out before this one. So,
great.
that's
gonna be my theme. Every episode, I'm gonna try to do something with finger guns.
In this lovely audio medium, finger guns.
It's gonna be my ASMR starting career. Just me doing finger guns.
I love it. Beautiful. And you know what? Just because animals, love that. I'm gonna jump on that and say I'm a basic bitch. My favorite animal is a tiger because I was born in the year of the tiger. Everything revolves around me. But yeah, cats are coming a close second because I have a cat, so also revolves around me.
That's the literal version. I will say those sloths are amazing, and I don't know how they've survived this long due to natural selection.
Sloths are beautiful creatures.
My family describes me as a sloth, so it makes sense. I don't know if I take it as a compliment. All right.
I was gonna say
I
assume lovingly.
I don't know about that. I don't know if it's an insult or a compliment, but you know what? I personally take it as a compliment, all right? To defy the natural selection that somehow sloths have survived being so lazy and slow, it's impressive.
If someone knows who exactly Noah is just from his voice or whatever, at Noah's family in the comments or link them this video just to see that he's calling them out.
Exposed.
I'm calling you out. I'm not gonna DDoS myself any more than that, but I'm calling you out, my family.
All right, so let's get right into it with the first general question being, what was your favorite TV show from the I was gonna say 2000s to the 2010s? I need to speak slower. Wow. And how did you watch it?
All right, I think I always get blurry with if it came out between 2000 and 2010 or 2010 and early 2010. But the show Recess, I watched that shit.
Oh,
that was on my list.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, I loved it.
I remember the movie that came out.
Yeah, was
about
this
it.
the
only show?
School? Oh man,
that's the only show I watched on Disney Channel before I started watching Disney Channel.
Damn. Yeah, but I loved that show so much, and just the dynamics between all the characters and oof.
I remember like the opening too with the really cranky, I don't want to say lunch lady, but like the patrol officer lady
Er-
with the kid. What was his name? Randall or something?
Randall.
Oh
Oh
my
God, I
god!
hated that
I think
kid.
everybody wanted to punch that kid in the face.
Oh yeah. It's weird that like that
Absolutely.
Randall looks like really similar to the Randall from Monsters Inc.
Monsters,
for some
Inc.
reason.
Oh
They have the same
my
character
Yeah.
too. Like they're both Randall. They're both that like little weedy,
They're
that
like
little
that.
snitch. But
Yeah.
same name. Rip anyone named Randall. I'm sorry. Sorry in
I mean, they're
advance.
both made by Disney, so
It
maybe
makes
there's
sense.
a correlation.
It makes sense.
All right, and how did you watch it?
I would just catch it whenever it came on. I think it was like after schools it would play. Or like Saturday mornings were usually like Avatar, which is also a favorite. I just could not remember if that came out post 2010. So I wanted to be safe and go with Recess. But yeah, I would just catch like the random episode coming back from school, or like I would always come home from school at lunch because I lived like really close and I didn't want to pack a lunch, so I would just come home and I would just get to watch a half an hour of TV instead of chilling in the lunchroom, which was like pretty A plus for elementary school. And then yeah, I don't know any of the actual plot line of the show other than what was happening episode to episode. I don't even know if there was like an overarching plot, but yeah, whenever it came on, I was just there to watch it somehow.
Nice.
Sorry.
Um,
I'll like to stick to the
the
Discord called
order.
the order. Yeah.
Okay,
Makes
sounds
our
good.
life
Top
easier.
down, yeah.
Sounds good. Well, keeping in kind of a similar vein, mine was Arthur. I loved Arthur. I still
I
love
love
Arthur.
Oh
Arthur.
man.
Like, I related to Arthur so much, and I loved that show. He was just like this nerdy kid who liked to read, and I don't know. He had an annoying sibling.
This is so funny.
Hmm.
I don't know how we got onto the topic of Arthur. Literally last night I was talking about it with my parents. I don't remember what DW stands for, and I asked that, and my mother looks me dead in the eye. She's like, "Dickweed." I was like, "No." But I genuinely do not know what DW stands for. Do you remember what
Dora Winifred Reed.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna slowly just pull up Google real quick.
Dora Winifred Reed.
it's beautiful?
Oh, man.
Oh no, not the actual definition of DW, not a person's wife. Sorry, I can't type for some reason.
Oh, the timing of that is too funny.
I'd like to put a note in here that if you hear a cat meowing, that is my cat Pasha, because he is not in my boyfriend's room today. He's just roaming around the living room and he wants more food, but I literally just fed him. So
The boy
We
is a
love
star.
a surprise Pacha
Yeah,
here.
right on the money. Dora Winfred Reed. Wow.
nice.
For some reason, there's some details from shows that I don't forget. Like theme songs, I will not forget. Like, I don't know.
Feel
I
that.
mean, I don't know why you would remember like her name like specifically, but the reason I remember it is because of that one scene where Arthur is like, oh, like he's mad at her or something, and he's like she's like, don't say it, and then he's like, Dora Winifred, and he chants it for like 5 minutes, and every time someone is like they say DW, I'm like, oh my god, I see that scene in my head.
Like, I don't know why I remember it. I just remember it. I loved that show so much.
A good show.
It's just there.
And how did you watch it?
I guess the same as Jill, just like anytime it was on, like after school. I remember TVO Kids was like my favorite channel, so it would always just be there all the time, kind of thing.
Very nice. And Noah, what was your favorite show?
I think it still is my favorite show to this day, and that would be Futurama. I was
Nice.
watching Teletoon at night when I was too young for it. But like, there's been a lot of shows that I've loved over the ages and like watched. Like, I used to watch all the Yu-Gi-Ohs, the Power Rangers, all that stuff. They were great shows, but like, Futurama was just too good not to put it at the top of my list. And it would be after my parents, not went to bed, but went up to their rooms to just relax away from, well, like we were all in our rooms. I would go downstairs, grab a bowl of ice cream, and hope to God that it was on TV because I could never memorize the schedule when it was on.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big, like we had a brick of a TV. It was a big TV, but it was like at least
remember
1
those.
foot back
Like
into the wall.
when you got close to it.
Yeah.
You're like the thing it had to sit on like an actual, almost like
Yeah.
a table.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But that show, and then the way that they kept it going and then add the conclusion, like the final episode to it. Only show that's been able to make me cry ever.
Wow.
So, and that's coming from a dude who's had a lot of trouble emoting over the past 21 years. So, that's saying a lot. That's saying a lot.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, dude and emotions, that's a whole other topic for another day, but
Oof.
but anywho, Futurama, that's the show.
Very nice. I like that a lot of you, well, I say a lot of you, there's like 3 of you here. I like that you guys went with more like childhood, super cool, I don't know, like nostalgia things. Because when I was thinking of 2000s to 2010s, so fun fact, I grew up technically without a TV. Like for the longest time, my house did not have a TV. When we finally got one, I was maybe 12, and it was an old TV that only played 2 channels, which were TVO Kids and the news. So I barely watched it because my parents watched the news on it. So where I actually watched a lot of like childhood TV shows were on YouTube, where people would just like upload the different episodes, and sometimes you'd have to watch it in like 7 parts.
Oh my goodness. And like it was like zoomed in, or it had like the wavy thing.
Wow.
Those were the days.
I you know, it was a good time. I basically used up all my family's internet for that. But when I was actually starting to watch shows, the one show that stuck with me that I think, because I always say that my favorite show is Castle. And it is one of my very big favorites, but when I actually think about it, I think my favorite TV show is not even like, because a lot of these are Canadian or American. My favorite TV show from the 2000s or 2010s is actually the UK version of Skins. So it's like a completely different vibe. Basically, for people that don't know what Skins is, it is a show about a group of teenagers that live in England, and they are like in high school and then college, and it's a drama, but basically almost everyone in the main cast or storyline represents or has a mental illness or like some sort of disorder, and it's how they like navigate through life and the drama and shit while incorporating that.
Nice.
But yeah,
I've never seen Skins or anything, so
I haven't either.
So,
it's a pretty good show. It's just very sad. And I know if anyone has watched Skins and they are listening to this, they're going to agree with me. First gen was great. Second gen was best. Third gen was utter crap, but the saddest one. So it's
poor Jen. No, Mitchie, you reminded me now, like thinking about like my favorite shows now. Like one of my favorites is actually from 2002, and I just discovered it in like the past year and a half. It's Firefly, and oh my goodness, it's unfinished.
Yeah.
It's such a like, I don't know, it's such a fun like adventure, but it's still like very adult and very, I don't know, it just kind of combines like my love of like adventure and fantasy sci-fi and like fun like characters and just being friends and stuff with like actual like serious action and drama and stuff. And I don't know. You just reminded me of that. And
Mhm.
I
That's
remember
funny.
people would say Firefly was like one of those iconic TV shows, and then it got canceled.
oh, I was so mad when I realized there were no more episodes, and I was like, oh, I'm now like grasping for any more content. Like I watched the movie and I read the comics now, and I was just like, oh man, it's one of my favorite shows.
I remember hearing about it via like Big Bang Theory and them talking about like Firefly and then learning about it. I'm like, wow, that sounds really cool. But every person who ever talked about it's like, yeah, but it got canceled. I'm like, I don't want to do that to myself. I don't want to end up in this
Yep.
position.
Apparently,
So I've
Yeah.
just
never
Disney's
started it.
remaking it, and I'm like,
Oh.
no, please no, please don't remake it.
Just
I
let it
still
lie.
have yet to watch it, and now I'm kind of like feeling the same way Jill is, where everyone that talks about it is like, "Oh, but it was canceled," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, sad
It's like
times."
you get so
Yeah.
invested, and then your heart is broken because it just ends.
I don't know, man. It does that to me. I don't want. I don't want to deal with that in the entertainment world.
That's
There
fair.
have been some really good shows over the past. Or just in 2000s to 2010. Like just thinking like old Disney, like Zoe 101,
Yeah,
all that stuff. Like
Mhm.
Wizards of Waverly Place.
Wizards of Waverly.
A
Yeah,
great show. Oh my god.
Mhm.
I remember. I think that's when like the Star Wars: The Clone Wars first came out too.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh
And, like,
yeah.
God,
I was
so many good
watching some
shows.
old like clips of it. That had some terrible animation, but it was still phenomenal for what it was.
I think I'm on season 6 right now of Clone Wars.
I still
and
need to watch
a lot of
Yeah, I need
improvement.
to rewatch it. It's been like that's when Avatar: The Last Airbender came out too.
Yeah,
I think, right?
2005 is when
Yeah.
Avatar came out, which is my favorite show of all time. I will always say that.
Mhm.
But I didn't watch that as a kid. I watched that like when I was in my late teens.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
All right.
yeah.
Getting back on track. So now that we have discussed what our favorite TV shows are from this time, I have a top 10 list. And this list does not come from me because I barely watch TV or movies. But I'm gonna trust this person, and I've made a little bracket style competition, not competition, but like thing that we're gonna go through. So this comes from ranker.com. The
Okay, so I'll
best
watch
television
Mojo.
shows
Okay.
of the 2000s, originally by Ranker TV, updated March 16th, 2021. So pretty recent. I don't know how else to give them credit. So credit to you.
Maybe just link it in the when you make the YouTube thing, the
Yeah,
description.
that's
Nice.
basically what it's gonna be. So I took some from their top 10 or like top 20. I kind of mixed it about to make a little bracket, and basically I tried to match them up to where like I think they are close enough to where people have actually debated these, like which one's better or whatnot. So there's 4 different areas right now, and we'll go through the first one, we will vote, and then we'll go through all the others, and we'll just make our way down until we get to the final. But first, I'm going to tell you what they are, and you can choose your favorite from this list. But do not tell us. Write it down somewhere, keep it in track, and we'll see if it matches the final verdict. So,
Alright.
Cool.
the list has Breaking Bad, House, The Office, Friends, The Simpsons, SpongeBob SquarePants, Parks and Recreation, and How I Met Your Mother. Does everyone have their final answer
I
that they are
may
not
or
gonna
may
say out
not
loud?
need you to repeat that. Could you?
Yeah, I
would
can
it
put
be
it in
possible to
chat.
just
I'll
like
put it in
just
chat.
put it in chat? Yeah,
Yeah.
please, please. I was thinking about them as it was happening, but at the same time, my memory is notoriously bad.
It's okay. Jill's very prepared and here for us.
Thank you. And so we're just doing this off of our personal favorites.
We
yes,
pick our
from
favorite.
that
Okay.
list, and do not tell us.
All right.
Cool.
All right. I've just highlighted it.
All
'cause
right.
I'm a simpleton.
Now, in the meantime, the first bracket that we have to vote between is Breaking Bad and House.
Like which we think gross
better?
better on like internet cesspool
Oh,
of
we're doing
opinion
like
type
a
thing,
tournament
like
art kind of thing.
our type
Yeah.
thing.
This
Yeah.
is like which show you prefer.
Okay.
Oh, us personally, not what we think
Yes.
the masses think.
No.
Okay.
The masses.
Well, I don't know.
Hey, Nietzsche. The lets you know what the cows think. The herd.
No.
It will
No, no,
tell
no.
you the number one pick after we are done this, but for now it is just for us to choose between Breaking Bad and House.
Personally, I know more about Breaking Bad because my whole family watches it. I'm the only one who hasn't actually sat down to watch it. And from what I hear about it, it sounds like such a good show. And House has its like really niche audience, or I guess more of a. My grandpa really loves House, but I gotta put it to Breaking Bad. I gotta say, like, I love my smartass like consulting detective shows, but Breaking Bad just brings something else to the table, you know. So gotta go with
The
that.
opposite boat. I love House, and I think just the sarcasm, just the wisecracking and the cockiness, and just I thoroughly enjoy when people outplay other people. So when House just outplays everyone all the time, although it does get repetitive every once in a while, I just personally I enjoy it more.
All right, so we've got one for Breaking Bad, one for House. Mari, what is your vote?
Yeah, you gotta be the tiebreaker.
I'm kind of in the same situation as Jill. I haven't watched either of them because they're not really kind of the genre that I go towards. But I just know more about Breaking Bad, I guess, because like all my family watched it, some of my friends have watched it, and it seems like really fantastic. It's even got like the spin-offs of it. So
Oh, yeah,
I'm
like
gonna
Better
go
Call
with
Saul.
that one. But like
Mhm.
I haven't seen either of them, so
All right, well, I'm kind of in the same boat where I have not seen either of these, but I've seen a lot of scenes from them. And this is a little biased, but one of like my and Mari's best friend, Siren, who is in other episodes, absolutely loves Breaking Bad. Like she has cried over it and told me about it and ranted about it, and it's made me more invested in it. And from the scenes that I've seen that like she has shown me, I think if I gave it a chance, I would like Breaking Bad better. So, unfortunately, I'm gonna vote against Noah.
sorry, Noah.
Although Noah, I gotta support like the outplay, smartass, quippy, sarcastic.
I just
yes,
really
like,
enjoy that.
I
I don't know
love it.
what about it.
I get it from The Mentalist. Like, it's almost the same premise of like consulting smartass to solve mysteries and crimes, but like, I get it. It's a very good type of show.
There's something about just being confident to a point where like, you know, you can't give a shit about it. Like, you know you're right and everyone's doubt. It's what I aspire to do in certain cases. It never happens, but it's something I aspire. You know, it's a quality I wish, you know.
So the second bracket is The Simpsons versus SpongeBob.
I gotta.
I think.
Hmm.
I'm just gonna go off. I think you gotta give it to. I mean, it's a close one. I gotta give it to SpongeBob though, because of how iconic it's been over the past. I don't even know how long, but it's been on for ages now. And although I know this, the creator passed away, and then Nick decided to go against his wishes and continue it. I think I could be wrong. I remember Twitter blowing up about something along those lines. Yeah, I don't know. I think just SpongeBob is more iconic.
Mhm.
Although Simpsons had some great moments, I think just SpongeBob is just more iconic and just better quality.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same page. Like, I respect the hell out of The Simpsons. Like, it is such a long running show, and they've done it's just such a constant. It's a comfort show to watch. But SpongeBob, like the impact it had throughout
Yeah.
like childhood and being able to like bond with my sister via watching it, and then like the games that came from it, and the movies, and just everything about SpongeBob, like Noah said, is like so iconic and so like chef kiss, you know? So
Yeah.
I gotta give it to
Mhm.
the sponge.
I also have to agree because, like, I know The Simpsons, very iconic, paved the way for so much of like modern media. But I think I'm kind of biased in that SpongeBob is like such a big part of my childhood. It is so like quotable. There's so many memes. It's just it's
I
chef's
think,
kiss.
especially because at least 2 generations have grown up watching SpongeBob.
Mhm.
It's been on for so long. I think it has that extra like oomph and nostalgia value.
It has like the nostalgia value like for adults who grew up with it, and then also kids still watch it.
Exactly.
Whereas The Simpsons was very much an adult show from the beginning, I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
Even though I know kids watched it and or still do, I think there's just more of that. I don't know. I think there's I don't know.
Mhm.
SpongeBob has got that. Now, like the millennials and the Gen Z even are kind of entering adulthood, so it's like nostalgia and childhood.
I will give Simpsons props for calling a lot of like the events in the future because I know the
predicting.
Simpsons have done that surprisingly
There's still
consistently
it's
well.
still happening.
Yeah, which is slightly concerning,
Kind-
and I want to know the like conspiracy theories behind it.
Mhm.
But yeah, SpongeBob is.
So that puts SpongeBob as winner of that. I was actually going to go with Simpsons, which is kind of nice because if the creators or whoever hears this for some reason, they will know someone was on their side. I just think that like The Simpsons are a much more progressive show, and I was also just like personally a little scarred by SpongeBob. In no fault of theirs, but I went to Wonderland when I was like a child, and they had those like 3D or like 4D experiences.
Mhm.
I know what you're
I went
talking
to
about.
one of those, and it was a SpongeBob one, and it was very loud, which I did not do well with. But then there's a scene where I think it's Plankton that holds like a chainsaw or something, and like it pushes it towards the screen, but it's 3D, so it looks like the chainsaw is actually coming at you. And because it's 4D, the chairs shake and move, and they push you a little upward, so you feel like you're going to get cut by the chainsaw.
That's
And
fair.
I just yeah, no, every
Yeah.
time I hear SpongeBob, I think of that memory and I'm like, oof, is this some kind of PTSD?
Ooh,
Yeah,
Ah.
that's fair.
That's rough.
not
Yeah.
from like the best time, to be quite honest.
Ah. But you know, it's probably a great show for people that like
For people who didn't have traumatic experiences.
Yeah.
you
You can
know.
start at Wonderland.
all right. The next one is Parks and Rec versus How I Met Your Mother.
I gotta
Ooh,
be
that's
honest.
a tough one.
I have not watched either. I've started both and I stopped both. I don't know. Like, I know people really like both of these shows, but I've not been able to get into them. But I've been able to get through more. Honestly, it's kind of a draw for me. Like I would not prefer one over the other. Maybe How I Met Your Mother because I love Neil Patrick Harris and there's an architect in the show, I believe. And I'm studying that, so it's like, hey. But other than that, I just got to do a straight draw. I wouldn't push either. to be on a list. Not gonna lie.
Okay.
All right, I will
Don't
put
hate
that
me.
down as 1-1.
I'll abstain.
Mari?
Yeah, I've also not watched either of these. But from what I know, Parks and Rec is kind of like The Office, but less The Office.
Less
That's
cringy.
all I know.
That's cringy. Yeah.
Maybe,
Mm.
yeah. And How I Met Your Mother had a terrible ending, from what people say. So I really have no clue. Yeah.
The ending of How I Met Your Mother had what's his name? David Henry, right? The guy who played Justin in Wizards of Waverly Place, I'm pretty sure. That was like
wasn't
one of
he
his kids.
the kid? Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say, at least for me, I like Parks and Rec more, mainly because I enjoy the icon that is Ron Swanson.
Oh, sorry.
I-
Kind of my internet
Oh.
got me up for a second. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I watched a bit of How I Met Your Mother with my parents. It just wasn't my show. Like, it was okay. I liked the, long game romance. But I don't know. Parks and Rec was just, it's got too many good moments, I think, I think it just outclasses him.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I will also put my vote to Parks and Rec because I have been watching it not too recently, but I got to like the last season. I haven't finished yet, and a very big reason I haven't finished it yet is because I don't want it to end. And it's just a very good, consistent show. There's a lot of character growth, which I really appreciate because, like, there are some characters in the beginning that you're like, I love this character, but for all the wrong reasons. Like, they're just, like, such a piece of shit. It's so funny. And then they have the most character growth, and you're like, huh. They're kind of a sweetheart now, and, like, they're just getting really cool. And then, of course, I agree. Ron Swanson is simply amazing. Literal icon.
That
And of
beard,
course,
or that mustache. Just
The
Yeah.
stash.
and then of course, who I forgot her name. April. Yeah, that.
April.
Who
What's her
Aubrey
name?
Plaza
Audrey Plaza.
plays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolute amazing character. Literally, oh my god.
I feel like with Parks and Rec, a lot of the characters you can really identify with. Like, I know
Mhm.
Donna, a lot of people identify with her. Ron, Andy.
Mhm.
Although I feel like it's very similar to The Office.
Mhm.
Like, there's the very distinct characters, which, it's fine, it exists. But like,
We love
Yeah.
an ensemble cast.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right. The last matchup, before we get into the inner brackets, is The Office versus Friends.
All right, I have a confession to make.
Yes.
I have never seen Friends, nor I watched The Office, but I fucking hate Michael Scott with a burning passion. Oh my god. Oh my god. Literally on Bumble, when I had Bumble, my bio was like, how it asked for an unpopular opinion, and I said, I fucking hate Michael Scott. Oh my god, every time he's on screen, it just makes me want to like punch him in the face, and he's just I know that people are like, oh, he's just because he's cringeworthy, but like, that is not a good character like design for him to just be cringe. Oh my god, it pains me.
I mean, that's fair. I didn't
purposely
like him
voice
until like
cracking for
season
this, like-
4.
Oh my god, it's literally just pain.
Mhm.
Sorry, that's my rant. So, out of spite and like fuck you for Michael Scott, as much as I love every season of The Office when Michael Scott isn't there, I'm giving it to Friends, even though I haven't seen it. Sorry, that's my rant. I'm sorry. I needed to get this. Oh my god. Whenever someone brings up The Office, I need to scream about this because oh my god.
That is so funny. I've seen both, and I gotta say, I like both of these shows a decent amount. But I have the same reaction to Ross. I fucking hate. Like, oh my god, I hate him so much. If there wasn't a laugh track, he would just be a sociopath.
Mm-hmm.
Just putting it
my
out
God.
there.
Actually,
Like, it's Monica and her friends and her brother Ross, and they're not friends. Like, he's such a bad character, and people like laugh at him and love him, and I'm like, no. So, like, I enjoyed Friends. It went kind of downhill in the last couple of seasons. Paul Rudd was in it, so that picked it up. But I don't know, something about The Office, like, yeah, Michael Scott is just such an ass, and honestly, so is Jim. There's so many like,
yeah.
Oh
think
yeah,
we
when you
need
look
to-
back
when you
on it,
critically
it's like,
look-
ugh.
We
yeah.
also need to make a like fuck you at the office for every Tinder profile picture or profile bio that's like, I'm looking for the gym to my Pam.
No.
Oh my god.
Like,
I remember one
they
time
really
I was
are
on,
not goals.
on Tinder, literally, I swiped 10 profiles in a fucking row. They all had that. And I was like,
Yeah, that's not
Yeah.
relationship goals,
No,
peeps. That's
they
just
have
not.
legitimate issues that no one talks about.
yeah.
Yeah, like it was.
The thing,
Yeah,
yeah, it was weird, but like I think when people say like, "Oh, I'm looking for the gym to my Pam," I think it's just like they want that like romance where it's like, you're just dating your best friend. That's
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
what it is. No, like
which in
abusive-
simple is great.
yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that brings up a whole other like topic about dating, but I think that's really what dating just is. Just you're intimate with your best friend.
Mhm.
But anywho,
That's a good way to put it.
yeah.
So does that mean, Jill, your vote
I
is
gotta
going
give it
to
to
The
Office. I
Alright.
do have to give it out. Like I do love Friends, and I've watched all 10 seasons. I watched it with my dad. It was a great time. But yeah, I gotta give it to Office. I feel just had a little bit more variety in what would happen, but Friends will always hold a spot in my heart.
Mhm.
I
Alright,
mean,
and
I'm
Mari?
also kind of biased here because I never watched Friends, so I am giving it to The Office because just I watched it again. Something I
Sorry,
watched
I
for
hacked.
the first. All good, all good.
I thought it was
the
Sandra.
No, the criticisms are very valid. But it's another show. Again, I watched like in the past year, right? I watched a lot of TV during quarantine, but it was, I don't know, I got so invested. I fell in love with most of the characters. And it's one of the few shows that have actually made me cry at the end. I didn't expect it, but it just happened.
Hmm.
I don't know.
Ending.
For
Oh
the
my
heathens who like
goodness.
The Office, who's your favorite character?
Dwight.
Ooh.
Dwight.
Fucking Dwight.
Ooh. Who's my
I
favorite?
feel like everybody likes. I feel like Dwight, and I think it's just Dwight is the most popular character on that show.
Dwight. Oh, Mitchie's favorite is Creed, which yes, fantastic.
Creed is
oh my
amazing.
god,
like
yes.
Mitchie and
Creed is the best
Creed
character.
give off the same energy. I feel.
Really do.
I was watching. I enjoy the clips. Like I think the YouTube channel's like Comedy Bites, and they like go and they put out clips. I was watching the one where like Jim and Creed are playing chess,
Mhm.
and Creed's just like, and he's like, no, don't do that. If you do that, I'll do this, and I'll do that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's wrong, but that's still amazing.
Like Creed is
Yeah.
a secret mastermind for
Yeah.
sure. So that's
Creed and
sweet.
Daryl.
He is.
I
love
appreciate
Daryl.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
yeah,
my
he's
favorite was probably Phyllis because she just had like the sassy comments on the side, and I'm like, ooh, girl,
I
yes,
think
thank
all
you.
like the side characters, like not the main characters, are
Mhm.
really good. So like
Yes.
not
Except
Jim,
Andy. So
not Pam, not Andy, not
the
like,
way you feel about Michael Scott is the way I feel about Andy. I can't stand him.
Andy was
I mean,
horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like especially
both
late
Michael
season.
Michael and Andy are both like kind of.
Mhm.
I like the actor. What's his
I don't know his name, but yeah.
He's been in a
Mhm.
lot of stuff, and I like some of his work.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
he's a great
Um,
comedian.
yeah.
Just to keep up on time,
Yes.
not that I don't love the
How much
discussion.
time do we got left?
A bit.
How much time we got left, Doctor?
But we got some brackets to go through. So
Alright.
I'm gonna say I will also put my vote for The Office. I I love Friends. There was like a moment in my life where everyone at a place that I worked was like, "Oh, Friends is such a terrible show without the laugh track. It's like it's terrible." And I was like, "No, Ross is terrible.
Yeah.
Everything else was fine." I'm like, everyone was great. It's just I don't know what Ross was doing there. But in The Office, I think even though Michael Scott is terribly cringy for the longest time, he is the reason that a lot of the show happens. And he creates situations in which all the other characters get character development. And he is also a reason why Jim and Pam are together. And while they aren't like the ideal relationship, they do have their good qualities. And if Michael never said what he said to Jim on the boat, it would have never happened. So, like, I think with the moments that Michael has and then the person he eventually becomes, like when he meets Holly, it's just it
That
catapults the
relationship is
show.
good.
Yeah,
That is a
it
quality
catapults the show
relationship.
into a completely different zone where it's like genuinely a good, memorable show after that. So I gotta go with The Office. Which brings us to our final four. So now you must choose between SpongeBob and Parks and Rec.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
SpongeBob.
I think
SpongeBob.
I still got to give it a SpongeBob just because it's just so iconic. You can't argue with just an icon.
Fair enough.
How
I
long
would've-
was SpongeBob been running for?
I would have gone Parks and Rec, but we all know why.
Fair.
I think since
I'll give it
98.
to SpongeBob.
1999. It's been
Oh, so
on for the same amount of years, not the same amount of years, but since I was
Wow,
born.
It's
I'm
older than I am.
than SpongeBob. Oh yeah, I forgot your
SpongeBob is older than me.
All right. And now you must choose between Breaking Bad and The Office.
Oh,
I
Breaking
guess-
Bad, just because fuck The Office.
Yeah, I gotta go
I got
Office.
I gotta go Office too.
All right. I will go Office too. But for a different reason as well, which is that like Breaking Bad, despite not watching it, I know that it has some heavy moments. Like this has deadass made my best friend cry. And while The Office has made me tear up, sometimes like I just want a show that I can put on at any time. Like Breaking Bad can't be my favorite show over The
Yeah.
Office because I don't want to be sad all the time.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, I know with The Office, a lot of people just throw it on whenever.
Brain
Good
candy.
background noise.
Yeah.
All right. So now the final round is The Office versus SpongeBob.
Oh,
This is hard.
SpongeBob without a doubt in my
Oh,
mind.
it's old.
Yeah.
It was hard.
It depends on like, I can't think about it too much. I just got to go with my gut. Like, if I were to put anything on today in my life, it would be The Office over SpongeBob. But my heart is with SpongeBob. But like, I would not go onto Netflix and queue it up and do my schoolwork with it on in the background. So I think for
Let me try to
playability,
persuade you otherwise.
Well, I'm just saying,
no
playability
persuading.
and like modern, like just, like my place in life now, I think would take it. But SpongeBob
order
is
to break the
such
tie, all right, I am going to do a little tiebreaker, which is I'm going to put an even number on one side and an odd number on the other side. And I will abstain from this because I'm the one that's doing the tiebreaker. So you will choose, and then I will tell you which side has won. So Jill, odd or even?
odd.
Odd. Mari, even or odd?
I'm gonna go with even.
All right. And Noah, even or odd?
So great. I have to be the decider. Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, this is too much pressure. Oh, I'm gonna. You know what? Let's go with. Could be me forgetting which one's even, which one's odd. Odd because I don't know. I feel like odd's unique.
All right. So
It's SpongeBob.
I had written down the number 16 above The Office and 17 over SpongeBob. So SpongeBob is our winner.
Yay!
I want to like break
Good
everyone's ears,
stuff.
but I'm a. Oh, let's go.
I did feel like
King.
I was betraying my inner child, but I'm glad SpongeBob has won. This is good.
I'm glad Michael Scott can go
All
off
right.
to wherever he went at that one season.
So
Wherever Holly was.
Yeah, exactly.
So now I would like to know what your favorites were before we went through this. So Jill, enlighten us to your favorite out of the 10 that were there, the 8 that were there.
I did highlight The Office. I have it highlighted here.
All right. And Mari?
I also put The Office, but now I'm rethinking it. Now I'm like, maybe I do like SpongeBob better.
And Noah?
I don't want to toot my own horn or anything, but I may or may not have put in SpongeBob because I 2 million IQ'd that stuff, that shit.
Very nice. I had put down The Office, so that's fine.
Oh man.
All right. So now that we have our chosen one and what we had before, I would like to ask you if you had to change one thing about your favorite show, favorite meaning the one you chose in this conclash, what would it be? So, Jill, what would you change about The Office? One thing only.
Michael Scott? Question mark.
Yeah.
Like, I love Steve Carell and I would keep Steve Carell for sure. But just kind of like, yeah, taking Michael and not completely nerfing him, because I do agree with what Mish said of like the shenanigans he caused bolstered the other characters and their growth and their stories and made me love them, and it was like because of him. But just adding like maybe just even an ounce of like social commentary instead of just like Michael being cringy and other people cringing to show that what he said was bad. Like actually having some episodes that still had like the Office brand comedy, but had a bit of commentary to it to give it a little more substance as opposed to just like cotton candy for the brain. And I think Michael would be the way to do that and like like improving his character. But yeah.
All right. Mari?
Get rid of season 8. It sucks. I hate it. That is all.
Which season is that? Remind
Andy
me.
season.
Oh, where
Fucking-
he's the manager?
No.
Wait, is that not it?
Season. No. It's the one with the Lizard King. I hated that season.
No, I love
No,
Robert
it's-
California. I love
Oh,
him.
yeah, Robert California's a great character.
I hated that season so much.
Oh,
it was a
that's such a
train wreck.
The season was so chaotic, but Robert California is
Yeah,
like
Robert-
high key my spirit animal.
I love Robert California. Yeah, I don't think his like character's the best, but I just love everything he says.
All right, and Noah, what would you change about SpongeBob? One thing.
I would love for it to get more mature. The thing is, like, I would love it to get more mature because, as Gill and Mari said, like, you can throw The Office on as background noise. You can't do the same for SpongeBob. So I would love that, like, there would be a way to make SpongeBob more background noisy instead of, like, you just watch it for nostalgia value. I don't think that's possible in any way, shape, or form, but it would be nice. Somehow bend the laws of television writing, but
yeah, that's pretty fair. I think for The Office, I would honestly just take away Andy's character.
Ooh,
Get rid of him.
that's a good
Honestly,
one.
nothing would change.
get rid of the Nard dog.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
I
I
I
agree.
think he had maybe one good moment. Because I just hated all of his moments. I liked his singing sometimes, but like the only moment that I genuinely was like, "Oh, that's a really nice moment for Andy," was when he was getting the tattoo. And he was like, "I don't know if I'm like cut out for this." And Jim was like, "You're all right. Like, we all came out here for you. Like, we're here to support you." And he was like, "Oh my god, like that's so wholesome." So then he gets it done, and then his reaction to the Nard dog tattoo is so like, it looks so genuine, so like, "Oh my god, like that's so sweet." But other than that, I just hated him, man. And like my favorite character is Creed, but my second favorite character is Aaron. And
Oh, she's lovely.
I
He was so cute.
I really hated the whole thing between him and
Yeah.
Aaron because he treated her so
Yeah.
badly.
That was
And
really bad.
it really like it delayed Pete and Aaron, which really annoyed me.
Mhm.
But yeah, that being said, just because we are running low on time, I would like you guys to choose which one you'd rather do. So we had two things set up for this little end zone area, which was going to be discussing if you made a show, when would you release it? Like during this period of time, what would it be about, and who would you cast? So if you'd like to discuss that, or if you would like to do the mini game of reading lyrics from an opening song of a show and guess where they are from.
Kind of feeling the mini game. Not gonna
I
lie.
think
was
the
gonna say
minigame,
minigame.
yeah,
Nice.
Feeling the mini game?
Yeah.
All right.
Got to put this useless knowledge to use.
exactly.
It's just
Oh my
taking up
goodness.
space in my brain. Watch me
Look,
epically
I
fail.
was that
It's gonna be
kid who's like, who knew all like the theme songs to all the shows, even up until like now in my 20s. And people would be like, "Why do you know that? You're so weird." I'm like, you know what? It will come in handy one day.
great. I'll need it one day.
Mm.
I assure you.
This is that day.
I will say though, like a lot of the shows, like comparing, I was watching some really old shows when I was like back home, when I went home, and like a lot of the jokes and stuff, like you can't make them anymore. And I really do
Oh, yeah.
appreciate, I really do appreciate that like aspect of writing because I love that kind of humor.
Mm.
But I know like so many things have become PC nowadays.
Mm.
So like if I were to make a show, I don't think I would, especially because I wouldn't be able to like make the jokes I wanted to make or
That's fair. I think that like, there are some jokes that I think are still fine that other people probably would not think, but I do like that we are becoming more aware about what's an appropriate joke or not, right?
Mhm. I like the genre that has been able to still be funny without feeling like the lack of those kind of jokes. Like John Mulaney is always like my kind of go-to, and like Bo Burnham, like they are funny as fuck, but they're not doing anything that would be like incredibly problematic, and it's like you're still funny without
Yeah.
relying on that, and I respect it so much.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
All right. So there will be 3 rounds, and you are not allowed to Google, and I will not sing it because that makes it a lot easier. The first one, the first 4 lines are: "Off to the races, I'm going places."
Oh, Sunny with a Chance.
Damn it.
That
That
was
was,
not
like,
gonna waste
wait.
it.
Sunny with a Chance of. Oh, was that
With
the
a
one
Chance
with
of
Demi
Meatballs.
Lovato?
Yes.
Okay. I remember that show. I do not remember the opening to it.
To the
I
races,
remember. I know like Shane
Might be
Off
one
and
time.
Damien Hawes from Smosh used to be on that though.
Mm.
Yes.
But
It
yes.
was honestly, I watched it again on YouTube because my best friend told me it was a pretty good show, and I was kind of disappointed that it got I don't know if it was canceled or like ended early because there's a lot of stuff going on, with
I think just Demi
Uh,
Lovato wanted out.
Yeah, she was not having a good time.
yeah, it was quite a difficult part of her life, and I completely understand that. But I was a little sad because it was one of the shows that I started and I was like, this is stupid, and then by episode 3, I was like, God, it's so good.
It's pretty good.
All right. The next one. Let's see. I need to find somewhere that's not obvious.
More
Um,
obscure
101
ones.
days of summer vacation.
All right. This one is so obvious. So verse 2 starts with message clear, I am here. Let me reassure you. I'm never gonna leave you alone. Should I keep on going?
Yeah,
Possible?
Yes.
Nice.
Really?
Wow.
Very nice.
Oh man.
Yeah. The
Can you
next
pick
part of
something
that
up
verse
on, like,
is
Television or YTV, please? Because I didn't have to stay up for much later.
the next part of the verse was you can always count on me. And I thought like that's
Call me,
just
beat
really
me if you want to
obvious.
reach me. Okay, yeah.
Very, very nice. All right. This one. Let's see. Scrolling through. Wow, this one's really obvious. Chorus 2. Chorus 2, or should I do it? No. No, the intro's so obvious. Okay. The second part of the second chorus
Oh my.
is
Okay.
I will make you see all of the things that you can be.
Zoe
Believe it.
101?
Nice.
Oh,
Yes.
shit!
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
That was like out of my ass. Nice.
Wow. Oh man.
All right. I will do one more. It's just like a little bonus round. So let's see. This is like the end of the first verse is I try to save the situation, then I end up misbehaving.
Johnny
Oh my God,
Test?
freaking- No.
No. Should I keep on going?
Wait.
See if Mari gets it.
That's so Raven.
Yeah.
Nice.
What are these old Disney? I'm expecting like something like Ben 10 or Marvin Mysteries or something. I'm like, yeah, I know this, or like Power
Disney
Rangers.
XD.
Yeah, no, I did not have Disney until a long time, so I was stuck on YTV. So this is all right out of my not in my wheelhouse.
It's all good. I looked up like childhood TV show fun lyrics, and those are the ones that popped up the most. And like the other ones they sound like actual songs. Not that those aren't, but like they sound like actual songs. And I'm just like, I want to go through it for 5 minutes. But with that, we are basically at the end of our episode. So if you guys would like to say any closing statements or things that you want to say, go right ahead.
Fuck Michael Scott.
Fuck Ross.
Oh, fuck Andy.
You got your list. Go.
Yep.
Very, very nice. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for being on this episode. It's very fun, and I always hate to have to like cut off conversations or rush it a bit, just because when you're talking to friends, it feels like it's been 5 minutes, but in reality, it's been a whole ass hour. But yeah, if y'all want to plug any social medias, as usual, just let me know after we record and I'll put it in the description. Otherwise, Y'all check me out at my Instagram, Mitch Jacques, the business Instagram, Little Dagger Aesthetics. Make an account on littledaggeraesthetics.com. If you have not already, you are dead to me. This is terrible.
Make an account.
It's long overdue.
Buy the stickers. Listen to the podcast. Do all the things.
Do all the
Yeah.
things, yeah.
Everything at the same time.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. At the time that we are recording this, I think we have like 10 subscribers, but the videos have like 20 to 40 views, and I'm like, is it just these 10 people watching it twice?
It really could.
But yeah, regardless, thank you so much for your support, and look forward to the next episode. Thank you so much again, and we're signing off here.